website, MohawkValleyLiving.com.
It's time for the Cooper Group's road trip to the newly redesigned village of Waterville. We're traveling in the newly redesigned 2008 Saturn Vue, courtesy of Saturn of Mohawk Valley. We travel to Waterville via Route 12 South and notice a new sign welcoming us to Rancho Cerritos. A few years ago, we didn't know what an alpaca was, but now we see them quite often. And like the people we meet each week who have moved to our area, these South American natives seem right at home in the Mohawk Valley.
As you're traveling along Route 12, about 3 miles north of Waterville, you will see a place called Rancho Cerritos. What it means is ranch of small hills, which is very typical in terms of a name for the area here around Waterville. But what you'll find here is a farm of alpacas, and mark your calendar for September 29th because there's going to be an open house here from 11 o'clock until 4, and believe me, you have to come here and see these animals up close. I'm holding in my hand something you might like too if you're wedded to your cell phone. This is an alpaca case, and it's a cell phone carrier, I suppose. All sorts of products here that are made with alpaca. We've seen several alpaca farms over the past 3 years here in the Mohawk Valley, but the owner of this farm, who is from Houston, traveled the entire country, and he decided to settle right here in the Mohawk Valley in these hills around Waterville, New York.
Waterville was settled in 1792 and is the historic hop capital of the world. When we last visited in 2005, the village was under major construction. Now their beautiful downtown has neat sidewalks and brickwork, lined by old-fashioned lampposts. You can feel the community's pride in their village as porches and window boxes spill over with flowers. A beautifully landscaped home catches our eye. It was built by the prosperous hop farmer George Putnam and was home to his son Earl and his wife Grace. There is an amazing collection of unique trees, including a ginkgo biloba. Today, it is the private residence of Mr. and Mrs. John Karam. We stop in to visit some of the friends we met on our last trip and see that Michael's is buzzing with activity. Chef and owner Mike is keeping busy and even has classes now, including Eggs 101.
I can remember coming to this grocery store since the 1950s. The Garrett family has owned it, and when you come here, it's a feeling of family from the minute you walk in the front door until you leave, and you're guaranteed to get nothing but the best, whether it's fresh fruit or fresh vegetables, fresh baked goods, everything.
We hear the sounds of kids at play and discover a skate park. The kids were only too happy to show us their stuff. Towering above the park is Rubin Tower, and the sound of the chimes reminds us that we have a date with the newly restored cupola and the 9 famous Westminster chimes. The bells were cast in Troy, New York, including the largest weighing in at 3,000 pounds. The bells ring out again over the surrounding countryside with the help of Nancy Ayala. She gives Richard a beginner's course for carillonneurs.
There are many reasons to travel to Waterville, and there are the usual reasons to travel to its library, which is brand new. It opened about a year ago. But there's another reason to come to this library because there are gardens around this building that are unmatched. They are in the middle of a farm field with the hills behind, and the flowers are absolutely gorgeous. It's an oasis where you can come to read your favorite book or magazine or newspaper, and it's on White Street right here in the heart of Waterville. It's a little bit hard to find, but it'll be fun finding it, and it'll be worth it when you do.
To keep up with everything Waterville, pick up a copy of the Waterville Times. This first-class family newspaper celebrates its 150th birthday this year.
The Waterville Times has been around since January 24th, 1857, published every week since then. I heard that Mary and Martin Cleary might want to be retiring in early 2001 and called them. I was working at the Post-Standard at the time. They were looking to retire. I was, like every journalist, thought, well, wouldn't owning a community newspaper be fun? And it worked out over a course of about 2 or 3 months. I took over in May 2001. Okay. Since the very beginning of the Times, they had correspondence from the different little communities write in. And we still do that. These people write in every week about news in their communities. And it is everything, you know, I tell people, don't get sick, don't have company that you want to keep a secret, because it gets in here. It's basic grassroots journalism. You know, the people who are in our paper, the people who read our paper know me, I know them. When you work for bigger papers, you just lose, there's too many layers. And it's you know, I'll be in Food King, or I'll be at the library or at a sporting event with my kids, and someone will come up and say, oh, I love your paper, or here's my money for my subscription, or can you call me about this event? And it's just bottom line journalism. Hands-on. Yeah, I'm the 15th publisher that's been here, and so there's been a number of people who've had it for years and years. It's always been an independent newspaper.
If you visit Waterville on a Wednesday, be sure to stop in at the Historical Society between 10 and 4, right next to the library on White Street. We stopped in to see a copy of the very first issue of the Waterville Times. Richard always enjoys learning more about the infamous Loomis gang. Must be the lawyer in him.
Now I'm evil, so they say in my school to be kind and assert and protect. Just trying to find my way back home.
If you enjoy walking, when you come to Waterville, you can walk for miles, and much of the walking will be on brand new sidewalks, and you can come to this lovely little park that has a watering, now we had a difference of opinion whether it's a watering trough or watering trough for horses. And underneath these flowers, it has the date that it was built, 1906, over 100 years ago. Come here on a Wednesday, and you'll be treated to a farmer's market. Here in Waterville at the farmer's market, I found something I haven't seen for a long time, and it's only $1.50. Give you the money here.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. These are beet greens, and I know there are some of you out there who have had these. They are absolutely out of this world.
When I think of the places I've been and the people that I've met, there's really only a handful that I just can't forget. It seems every once in a while you meet someone who will touch your heart the way no one else will ever do. Whether fate or destiny or plans from somewhere above, certain people were bound to meet to share.
Food and eating should be fun. So I was so glad to hear we were coming to Waterville today, to the New York Pizzeria, because I've been coming here for 25 years since they opened. And if you want to have food that is really, well, it's family style, it's served, it's prepared as a family, this is the place to come. Because Frankie and the Rosa and their son Lorenzo will give you treats you wouldn't believe that were so Italian. Mwah.
Well, I've been here in Waterville for 25 years. You know, I used to work for my cousin, you know, after that. Oh, this is one of my best customers, guys, huh? I used to work for my cousin. After that, I started my own business. I used to work in Sicily. Yeah.
And when did you come here?
When? Yeah. 1978.
Yeah. So you moved from there to Waterville?
Yeah, I went for Sicily, for Frankfurt to Waterville.
And what are you famous for? What do people come here for?
For everything, for the food, for the fun, for everything, you know.
While we were filming here, customers kept coming up to us to tell us how much they enjoy the food. One fellow from New Hartford said he comes all the way down here because this is the best pizza east of the Mississippi. If you want to try it yourself, come here today between 3 and 9 o'clock. And if you order a large pizza, you will be given 3 free toppings. And while you're at it, try my favorite, which is the chicken wing topping.
What we can see, traveling round the Mohawk Valley. Let's see what we can see. It's time for the Cooper Group's roll.